We'll start now, guys. Today we will continue on the story of Sundarakandam. We have been addressing the story of Sundarakandam, a very important chapter in Ramayanam for the past 3 weeks. We have brought Hanuman all the way to Ashokavanam, where he has met Sita, and today you're going to be listening to the conversation between Sita and Hanuman for the most part. And as usual, we will begin with our slokas and bhajans and then get to the story of Sundarakandam. I want you to repeat the invocation slokas with me. Okay, we won't be repeating the lines. You can sing them with me now. Om Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannabadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Om Hayagrivaya Upashmahe. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. We will now sing the Vinayaka song. Suramuni Vandita Vinayaka Suramuni Vandita Vinayaka Anandadayaka Vinayaka Anandadayaka Vinayaka Anandadayaka Vinayaka Anandadayaka Vinayaka. He Shivanandana Shubhanana He Shivanandana Shubhanana Shri Ganesha Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Shri Ganesha 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 Shri Ganesha Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Vinayaka. Buddhir Balam Yasho Dairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogatam Ajatyam Vak Patutvam Cha Anumat Smaranat Bhavet. We'll go into the meaning of this sloka before we sing the sloka. Buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Okay. ability to understand what the current situation is. Balam. Balam means strength. Yasha. Yasha means a graceful appearance, looking good. Yasha. Dhairyam. Dhairyam is boldness. And then we have Nirbhayatvam. Nirbhayatvam is being completely fearless. Arogatam. Arogatam is being free from any disease, to be able to live with good health. Ajatyam. Ajatyam is being free from laziness, being always brisk, never lazy, never postponing any activity. Ajatyam. Vakpatutvam. Vakpatutvam is to be able to speak very skillfully. Wherever you go, whatever group you are in, if you're able to talk your way through, if you're able to convince people that you have the correct opinion, if you're able to drive the conversation, if you're able to make a point, that means you have the ability to speak, ability to speak well. It's called Vakpatutvam. Anumat Smaranat Bhavet. All of these becomes one's own characteristic if they just think of Hanuman. So what are the characteristics which become yours when you think and contemplate on Hanuman? Buddhi, intelligence; Balam, strength; Yashas, graceful appearance; Dhairyam, fearlessness, boldness; and then you will have Nirbhayatvam, being completely fearless of any adversary; Arogatam, being healthy; Ajatyam, being brisk, never lazy; Vakpatutvam, being skillful in speaking. All of this become yours if we think and contemplate on Hanuman and what Hanuman is, what Hanuman has done. Now we'll learn the sloka. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Anumat smaranat bhavet. Anumat smaranat bhavet. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Anumat smaranat bhavet. Anumat smaranat bhavet. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Buddhirbalam yashodairyam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Nirbhayatvam arogatam. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Ajatyam vakpatutvam cha. Anumat smaranat bhavet. Anumat smaranat bhavet. So for week 4, one of the homeworks will be to sing the sloka and send me an audio recording. Okay. Now we will continue on Sundarakandam. Sundarakandam is a chapter in Ramayana. Ramayana is the word Ramayana. Ramayanam. Ramayanam means the way of Rama. Ramarin Vali. That is Ramayanam. So in Ramayanam, Rama showed the world how to live an honest, truthful life. Rama was the most loved among all characters in Ramayana. He was loved by his father, loved by his mother, loved by his brothers, loved by his wife, loved by Anumar, Sugriva, Vali. Even after Rama killed Vali, Vali was so thankful that it was Rama who killed him. So Vali loved Rama. He felt blessed. Every character that Rama came across fell in love with him. Guhan wanted to wash his feet. Ahalya was so blessed that from being a rock, she became a woman because Rama's feet fell upon her. Sage Vasishta and sage Vishwamitra were so fond of Rama that Rama was their best student. When we talk about Rama's mother, Rama was born to Kausalya, but it was Kaikeyi and Sumitra who raised Rama more than Kausalya herself. In fact, Kaikeyi and Sumitra never considered Rama as son of Kausalya. They always considered Rama as their own son. Vibhishana. Vibhishana fell in love with Rama that he wanted Rama to accept him as his brother. Even Ravana and Kumbhakarna, when they fall to death, they bow down to Rama. So if a whole story can revolve around one character, okay, that character must have been fantastic in every aspect. Now, how fantastic is what Ramayana tells us. From the day he was born until the day he died, Ramayana tells us what are all the things that Rama did. Why is Ramayana so important? Why is Ramayana so important in our lives? The one of the good explanations I've gotten is just like we take bath every day, just like we bathe every day, water will clean our body, will remove all the dirt, and gives us the freshness we need to start the day and to live through that day. Same way, Ramayana is said to clean the mind. Ramayana is said to calm the mind. Ramayana is said to remove diseases. Ramayana is said to bless you with happiness and prosperity. So, reading Ramayana once is good. Reading Ramayana over an interval of time repeatedly is very, very good because it gives you so much happiness, so much calmness in your mind. There are so many benefits to reading the story of Rama. Over the next few weeks, we will also be covering the importance, the power of the name Rama, Ramanamam. ராமருடைய பெயர் சொன்னாலே வந்து பிரச்சனைகள் தீந்துரும் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து people have experienced in their lives and they've been sharing to us across generations. So ராமாயணம் படிக்கிறப்போ வந்து we read the word Rama so often. So reading the story by itself has been chanting the name Rama. Now, இவ்வளவு significant ஆன ஒரு ஸ்டோரியில வந்து சுந்தரகாண்டம் was an extremely important part of the story where Anuman gave back the confidence to Rama that he will be able to find Sita, he will be able to defeat Ravana, and he will be able to establish Dharma. So that's why Sundarakandam is considered to be a very special part of Ramayana. Now, given that introduction, let's continue from where we left off last week. Last week, we finished with the conversation between Sita and Ravana. I told you about the meaning behind Sita throwing the blade of grass to Ravana. When Ravana comes and boasts and brags, "Hey Sita, I have that wealth, I have this wealth, I have so much power, I have such a big army, I have the biggest palaces, I have the Pushpak Viman." Sita just says, all of that is equal to this blade of grass, just go away. After saying that, Sita says, Ravana, God gave you everything except satsang. What is satsang? Satsang is the company of true people. In our lives, we need the company of true people. We need a friend. We need the friend to be our critic. When we do a mistake, the friend has to tell us it was a mistake. We need them as well-wishers. We need them as advisors. We need them as people who will watch our back, who will protect us from any problem that could come into our lives. We need these people. So Sita says, Ravana, Shiva and Brahma gave you so many boons. They gave you everything you wanted, but you never asked Shiva and Brahma to give you good people. Good people who will tell you when you're wrong. Good people who will take you away from the wrong track. They bestowed you with so much power and so much wealth. With all the wealth and all the power, you could have helped so many people, but instead you chose to arrest everyone who was against you and marry women against their wishes. By giving you everything and not giving you satsang, Shiva and Brahma have denied you everything. அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. So in essence, what Sita says is, it doesn't matter how much wealth you have, how much power you have, if you don't put them to good use. உன்னுடைய வெல்த்தை வச்சு யாருக்கும் உபயோகம் இல்லை அப்படின்னா அந்த வெல்த் யூஸ்ஃபுல், அந்த 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 வெல்த் யூஸ்லெஸ். உன் பவரை வச்சு யாருக்குமே யூஸ் இல்லை. You're only going to put fear into people's life. And the power vachu use illa. You have everything, but you don't have good friends around you, good people to advise you, good people to watch your back. You have nothing. Once Sita says this, Ravana gets very angry. He says, Sita, I give you 2 months. Inside of these 2 months, you either accept me as your husband or you die. Now, Sita, for all the 10 months she was in Ashokavanam, she never once displayed any weakness to Ravana. Whenever Ravana was there, she never showed any weakness. She was with full of will and determination. Because the minute you show your weakness to your enemy will exploit that weakness against you. So she was very determined not to give in to any trick that Ravana will play. She was very bold against Ravana. But in her mind, the fact that she has not seen Rama for 10 months has been bothering her every single day. She's in big despair. She's thinking, will I ever see my Rama again? Has my Rama forgotten me? Oh Lakshmana, I'm so sorry that I scolded you. So what happened before Ravana abducted Sita was, Rama was sent to get the golden deer. Rama asks Lakshmana to take care of Sita until he is back. So Lakshmana decides not to leave the house even when Marichan, the golden deer, in the voice of Rama says, Lakshmana, please come and help me. Lakshmana, please come and help me. Sita, please send Lakshmana here. Sita says, look, that's your brother's voice. You have to go and save him. Lakshmana says, I will not go. I am here to protect you. At that time, Sita scolds Lakshmana so much, using very, very, very harsh words, things that can hurt anyone. She is very sorry that she scolded Lakshmana that day. Lakshmana was only doing his duty. Lakshmana was there to protect Rama and Sita. Lakshmana knew very well that the voice he was hearing was not that of Rama. He knew that Rama will not be affected by the deer. But Sita was so angry on Lakshmana that she scolded him, and now she feels sorry that she scolded Lakshmana. She says, because I scolded you, Lakshmana, for the past 10 months, I've been hearing so many ill words and so many ill thoughts from Ravana and from all the Rakshasis. I am suffering because I questioned your loyalty to Rama. I know that you left your family and you came to help us in the forest, but I questioned your loyalty. I questioned your intentions, and now I am suffering here at Ashokavanam. I am very sorry. And then she says, Ravana gave me food. I said, I don't want Ravana's food. Ravana gave me water. I said, I don't want Ravana's water. Now Ravana is giving me 2 months to live. I don't want Ravana's 2 months to live. Without Rama, my life is meaningless. When she says that, I mentioned about this last week as well. This is an important aspect, so I want to emphasize that. The minute she said, without Rama, my life is meaningless, Sita's left eye twitched. Her left hand and left leg throbbed a little bit. They were shaking. Sita had the exact same things happen when Rama came to Mithila to marry Sita. So this is the scene. So the scene you're seeing here is from Janakpur palace, and this is Sita. This is Rama. Rama is breaking Shiva's bow, called as Kodandam. So the minute Rama broke the bow, Sita's father chose Rama as Sita's husband. So when Rama stepped into that courtyard for the first time, Sita's eyes fell on Rama, Rama's eyes fell on Sita. That's what is called as Annalum Nokinan, Avalum Nokinal. When Rama first stepped into the courtyard, Sita had the same signs happen. Her left eye twitched, her left hand throbbed, her left leg throbbed. After that day, it is only today that she is having the same signs all over again. She feels this is actually a good Sagunam. What is Sagunam? Sagunam is a sign. Sagunam is an omen. Nalla Sagunam means a sign of good things to come. Even in our families, whenever we do a function, whenever we announce that we are buying a house, we are having a baby, we are having a marriage in our house, we are having our Ayya's 60th birthday. Whenever we announce these good functions, we look for good signs. A bell ringing, a cow and its calf coming to our house, someone from our family calling us and telling us that they had a promotion. You know, when we announce a good event and we hear good things from within our circle, we call that as Nalla Sagunam. Very important to look for all these hints we get from the forces around us. So Sita, for a very brief moment, felt something good is going to happen. Hanuman comes in. So Hanuman has been watching all of this from the tree, and he knows that Sita is now very, very, very upset. And before she does anything drastic, I have to go and stop her. But Sita has not seen me. I am a complete stranger to Sita. I cannot just jump off the tree and talk to her and tell her I am Rama's messenger. Here is the ring. She will not even accept it. She won't even know me. She may even throw away the ring. And Rama's ring is my only evidence, only proof that I came directly to her from Rama. So she has to calm Sita's mind. She has to give her the confidence that help is coming, and then give the ring. So idhula dhaan vanda இன்னைக்கு இருக்க chapterல we will know about Hanuman's ability to converse. So far we've heard about Hanuman's strengths. Hanuman can grow his size, Hanuman can fly, Hanuman can defeat anyone on the way. Hanuman was blessed with all the weapons. No weapons can kill Hanuman. We learned all of his strengths. But today we will be hearing about how sweetly Hanuman can talk. How he can convince you that things are fine, things will be fine. So now Hanuman needs to act very quickly. He is also in despair. Okay, he doesn't have time to wait and see what's going to happen anymore. He thinks of Rama. Ramanama comes to his mind. He starts reciting Ramayana in a very simple format, very simple way. He's not singing, he is just saying the story of Rama. How Rama was born, how Rama grew up, how Rama got married, how Rama and Sita came to the forest, how Sita got abducted, and then how Rama and Lakshmana came to Kishkinta, how they met Sugriva and Hanuman, how Rama sent Hanuman to Lanka, how Hanuman is now in Lanka, how Hanuman is now looking at Sita. He's covered the whole story of Ramayana in a very short duration. Sita is hearing it intently. As she is hearing, as she is listening to the word Rama, 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 Rama. No one around had said that word. Until now, no one even mentioned the word Rama in good context. They've always said Rama is useless, Rama will never come, Rama has abandoned you, all that. Only now, after 10 months, someone around her is praising Rama and telling her Rama's story. Her mind gets calm. Sita looks up and she sees a monkey with his hands like this, eyes closed, and reciting Ramayana. She gets a glimmer of hope. She is hopeful something positive will come out of this. Hanuman looks at Sita and says, Mataji, who are you? And how did you get here? Sita says, I am Dasaratha's daughter-in-law. I am Janaka's daughter. I am Rama's wife. So, the important thing that I want to highlight is the sequence of how she introduced herself. She didn't introduce herself as Rama's wife first. First, we always give the respect to our elders. I am so-and-so's daughter-in-law. I am the daughter-in-law in Surya Vamsam. I am so-and-so's daughter. I was born to King Janaka. Then she says, I am Rama's wife. So always elders get the priority in Radhavandhu. Sita is highlighting here. And then, having heard Ramanama from someone, she begins to share what's in her mind. She says, I lived happily with Rama for 12 years. In the 13th year, we were sent to the forest. As she is explaining her story in the forest, Hanuman, with all the devotion and interest in hearing the story of Rama from Sita herself, takes 2 steps towards Sita. He comes 2 steps closer. Immediately, Sita says, Oh Ravana, you're again here in disguise. Why are you coming here in disguise to cheat me, to trick me? The minute someone tried to even come close to Sita, Hanuman came in all devotion. Even at that moment, Sita was taken aback that this monkey could himself be Ravana. Ipo, Hanuman can say, no, I am not Ravana. It won't convince Sita, right? So Hanuman does not answer Sita's question. He answers the doubt that Sita has in her mind. So idhula vandu Hanuman namakku enna solrarna vandu, when someone is having doubts about you, you will not win by answering their questions, rather you will win by clearing their doubts. So Sita asks, are you Ravana? He does not answer the question. Do you know what he does? He recites Ramayana all over again with his hands raised. He recites Ramayana all over again and falls at Sita Mata's feet. Now Sita is convinced. Ravana will not recite Ramayana twice and Ravana will not fall at my feet. So this is not Ravana. Once Sita is convinced that this is not Ravana, Hanuman introduces herself. I am Rama's messenger. Rama sent me here looking for you. I am Sugriva's minister. My name is Hanuman. Sita finally is happy that someone from Rama's camp has come to her. Before she wants to know more about Hanuman, she's asking, please describe Rama as you saw him. It's been 10 months since my eyes have fallen on my beloved husband. Please describe Rama to me. Rama was one of the most handsome men ever. One of the most capable men, one of the most handsome men. Sita was literally in love with him. And every minute she spent with him, she could never take her eyes off of Rama. Now Hanuman starts describing Rama's beauty. He says, Rama's eyes are as big as a lotus. They go all the way to the ear. They are so bright, and when they fall on you, you feel so blessed and you feel so loved. Rama's shoulders are so broad. He's so strong. Rama's hands are so long. They go all the way until the knee. Rama's hip is so small that you can actually hold the hip with just your hand. Rama is one of the most handsome men anyone can ever come across. He goes on and on about Rama and what he saw in Rama, and why people around him are all so fond of Rama. Now Sita is completely immersed into the sight of Rama. She is now visualizing Rama as Hanuman describes Rama. That is the moment Hanuman decides, this is the time I am going to give Rama's ring to Sita. So he says, Mata, this is the ring that your husband Rama gave me, and he asked me to give to you. That ring has Ram written on it. The image, a potential image of the ring is here. The beauty about the sequence is, he didn't give the ring immediately. He made sure that when he gives the ring to Sita, Sita will embrace the ring as she is embracing Rama himself. Right? So he convinces Sita that he is Rama's messenger. He convinces Sita that help is coming. He describes Rama, he recites Ramayana, takes away all the fear and worries from Sita, and gives the ring to Sita at that moment when Sita will completely enjoy the fact that there is a ring from my beloved husband. So selecting the right moment to share the best news is also very important, because that will maximize the happiness that the person can derive from that great news. Now Sita is ecstatic. She gives Hanuman 3 names: Vikrantan, Samarthan, Pragyan. She calls Hanuman as Vikrantan because Hanuman was the only person to have crossed over the entire sea without a Pushpaka Viman, without being someone who is not a Rakshasa, someone who is not a Deva, to have crossed over the entire ocean. That is only Hanuman. So he calls him Vikrantan. And that's why even today in the Indian Air Force, we have planes called as INS Vikrant. The name came from Ramayana, Vikrantan. This is a name that Sita gave to Hanuman. Sita also calls him Samarthan. She calls him Samarthan. Tamilல வந்து we have a word called Samathu. Samathuனா என்ன? ரொம்ப கெட்டிக்காரன் அப்படிம்பாங்க. கெட்டிக்காரன்னா என்ன? He knows what the situation is and he will act accordingly. Sita calls Hanuman Samarthan. Why Samarthan? Because when he entered Lanka, he made absolutely no chaos. No one knew he is in Lanka. If he made all the noise and all the chaos, then there would have been war, and people may have gotten the hint that he is there to see Sita, and Sita may have been moved to a different place. So before anyone from Ravana's camp, except Lankini, who is now dead, no one else knows that there is a monkey who has entered into the Lanka that is guarded by 7, which he's entered Lanka, which has seven walls guarded heavily by soldiers everywhere, Rakshasis everywhere, without anyone ever noticing that this monkey has come into Lanka. He searches every corner of Lanka and finds Sita in quick time. So Sita gives him the name Samarthan. Sita also calls him Pragyan. Pragyan means understanding people's mind and talking in a way that will help them. Pragyan. So these 3 names were given to Hanuman: Vikrantan, Samarthan, Pragyan. Now, a very important topic. Sita next asks Hanuman if Rama is doing the 2 important things. One is keeping up his effort in finding Sita, and 2, continuously seeking God's grace. Now, why did Valmiki have to mention this in Ramayana? Essentially, what Sita is saying is, you may be upset with what has happened in your life. That should not lead you to getting angry on God and stopping you from putting effort, or stopping you from asking for his support and grace. Now, Sita was abducted from Rama. Rama was tricked into believing that golden deer was true. Rama was a complete devotee of Vishnu, Shiva, all the gods. Sita was a complete devotee of Vishnu, Shiva, all the gods. Rama can very well be angry on the gods and say, I will not seek your support anymore. Rama may say, I've done everything right in my life and my wife has now been abducted. I will stop doing things in my life. So Sita says to us that in spite of whatever challenges you may come across, you have to continue putting your effort and you have to seek God's grace. The example that also comes in this process is, imagine farming, agriculture, right? When you want to grow food, you put the effort of sowing the seed, plowing the land, watering the land, and then you wait for the sun and the rain, a combination of sun, rain, and wind, all the forces which are beyond your control. You pray to them that over the next 6 months, please show me your support so I can grow these crops. So a simple act of a farmer raising crops involved effort and God's grace. If he did not put the effort, if he did not sow the seeds, if he did not plow the land, sow the seeds, water the land, God's grace could have been there. He could have had the best weather to grow the crops, but no crops would have come. Okay. On the contrary, if he put in all the efforts and did not care for what the earthly forces mean to him, what if there was rain or a flood or drought or extremely scorching heat? He would not be able to grow his crops. So for a farmer to grow his crops, he has to put the effort and he has to be mindful that his success depends upon the forces around him. So Sita says, is Rama putting his effort? Is Rama doing everything he can to search for me? Is Rama praying to God regularly? Now Hanuman gives a narration on Rama. தமிழ்ல வந்து இதை சொல்றாங்க, கல்லும் கரையும் படி ராமரை பற்றி சொன்னார் அப்படின்னு. So it literally will translate into, Hanuman talked about Rama in a manner that will make even a stone disintegrate, even someone who is stone-hearted melt. Hanuman says, Sitama, Rama is not the person you saw last. Do you know how weak he is now? Do you know how inconsolable he is now? Every day he is refusing to eat. Every day he is refusing to sleep. Every day he is telling, I did not protect my wife. I must have saved her. I missed on my dharma. I missed on my duty. He is every day reciting your name and he is every day asking, is Sita fine? Where is Sita? How am I going to find Sita? Just because one bird called Jatayu spoke to him, he is trying to talk to every bird, every animal that's coming his way. He's talking to lions, he's talking to tigers, he's talking to snakes, he's talking to crow, he's talking to sparrows. They don't talk back to him. Just because one bird had the power to talk back to him, Rama is now asking every animal, every bird on the way, could you please tell me if you saw Sita? Even if a snake is crawling on his lap, Rama does not know that it's a snake crawling on his lap. He is just not there. In the கேட்ட உடனே Sita, for the most part, was so happy that Rama still has Sita in his mind. She also felt sad that Rama is suffering. But idhula vandu, the way Valmiki puts it is, what Hanuman told was like one big bowl of amridam with small pinch of poison. The fact that Rama is so much looking for Sita, Rama is so much missing Sita, gave her so much happiness. At the same time, she felt a small bit upset that Rama is suffering. Now, this narration of Hanuman was again very, very important in the whole conversation because this gave Sita the confidence that her husband is coming. Her husband is going to come. She will remain strong. அப்படிங்கிற அந்த கான்ஃபிடன்ஸை வந்து சீதாவுக்கு கொடுத்தது இந்த டாபிக், இந்த கான்வர்சேஷன். Now, Sita is like very, very, very clear about what Hanuman says. She says, look, Hanuman, I'm glad Rama sent you. I'm glad you found me. But I have 2 months to live. If Rama will not come here in 2 months, if Rama will take longer to come here in 2 months, I don't want to live because I don't want to suffer through this hell that Ravana is putting me through. So now convince me that Rama has the army to come and defeat Ravana. அப்படிங்கிறப்ப வந்து Anumar says, Sitama, Rama has the biggest army anyone can imagine. The army is full of Vanaras. Don't think that the army is full of monkeys. They are Vanaras who are blessed with divine powers. I am the weakest among all the Vanaras. If I can fly across the ocean and come and see you, think of what all the Vanaras can do. அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. Even then, Sita is not fully convinced. She says, look, but you're such a small monkey. How can you defeat a Rakshasa who has so many powers? Immediately, Hanuman shows his Vishwarupam. Hanuman grows as tall as the whole skies are, and says, Sitama, this is my real form. Okay, if I enter into the war, I will be as big as Kumbhakarna. I am as strong as Ravana. I am only a fraction of what Rama and Lakshmana can do. So please believe me, please trust me. Abdina Hanuman says. He says, you have to be strong, Sitama. Rama is coming for you. If you are ever weak, say Rama Nama. If you are ever weak in your mind, if you are ever doubting, will things ever be all right in my life? Say Rama, 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 Rama. You will be okay. Abdingranga. Now Sita is fully convinced. She has to give a message back to Rama, right? So she says, I truly hope that I will be able to see Rama, Lakshmana again. I truly hope that I will be able to go back to Ayodhya again. But if I don't, God forbid, if I don't, please convey my gratitude to my beloved husband for being my beloved husband, for giving me all these years of happiness. Please thank my truly loved Lakshmana. He was literally my son who took care of me and my husband in the forest. Lakshmana was so great that he never slept even one day in the forest. Do you know what Lakshmana did when we were in the forest? Every day after dinner, me and Rama used to go for a walk, and we will never know where Lakshmana is at that time. We will always look for Lakshmana, but Lakshmana would never be there. We will go for a walk and come back to our hut, and there we will see Lakshmana having prepared all the food for the next day. He would have gotten all the vegetables. He would have cut all the wood needed for fire. He will have all the rice and every lentil we need to make the food. He was always working towards making our current day and next day comfortable. He was such a devoted brother, such a devoted son to me. Please thank Lakshmana. And she says, in my life, when I was in Ayodhya, I never got a chance to thank Rama's mom for giving birth to Rama and allowing Rama to marry me. I am so thankful to Kausalya Ma for giving birth to Rama and allowing me to marry that great Rama. So please thank even Kausalya. Then she says, look, Hanuman, when you go back to India, when you go back to Kishkinda and meet Rama, Rama will ask for evidence that you truly saw me. I am going to give you 3 evidences. Please take them back to Rama. First evidence. So this is like Rama gave the ring to Hanuman to prove that Hanuman is messenger of Rama, right? Similarly, Sita has to give something back. So Hanuman can convince Rama that Rama actually saw. So first evidence was the incident I talked about last week, Kakasura incident, where Indra's son Jayanta came as a crow and pecked at Sita. Appo Ramar took a blade of grass, converted that into a Brahmastra and attacked Kakasura. Kakasura flew all over the world, every god, every deva to save himself from the Brahmastra. No one could. He came back and fell at Rama's feet, and Rama said, look, a Brahmastra once used has to be effective at something. It can't be taken back. And then Kakasura says, okay, please take away one of my eyes. I saw Sita in the wrong vision. I ogled at someone's wife. Please take away one of my eyes. And then the arrow that you see here takes away one of the eye of Kakasura. She says, no one other than me and Rama knows about this incident. So this is one evidence that you met me. Second, she is wearing a chudamani. A chudamani is a small jewel that she was wearing on her head. I will give you this chudamani. Please take this to my Rama and show it to him. He may accept the fact that you have seen me. Abdintu and she says, but Hanuman, the two incidents I told you about, Kakasura and the chudamani, it's not 100% convincing evidence that you saw me. Look, I just told you that Kakasura went all over the world asking people to save him. That tells us that other than people other than me and Rama also know about the incident. So Rama may believe that you may have heard the story from Kakasura himself or from one of the devas who Kakasura asked for help. So that may not be a very strong evidence. This chudamani may be evidence, but Rama also knows that I was dropping all my jewels all the way as he was going to Lanka. He may believe that this chudamani was also dropped on the way, where you picked up the chudamani on the way and you showed it to Rama saying you met Sita. He may not believe you. So I will tell you one incident that no one other than me and Rama know. That incident was the garland making game. Sita and Rama play a game where they have to build the longest garland, and Rama, for the first time in his life, loses in a game. Rama has never lost in a game. First time he loses in a game to his wife, and the bet they had was whoever will lose in that game will be tied to a tree, and this garland will be used as a rope against the person. They have to be on the tree for some time. So immediately after Rama loses, Sita ties Rama onto a tree with this garland and goes in to start doing her chores. She completely forgets the fact that she tied Rama up on that particular tree. After a few hours, not knowing where Rama is, she's coming back and she's seeing Rama still tied. At that time, she says, oh, I'm sorry, Rama, I forgot about you. Aprinte, when she is removing the garland, the pottu, the sindoor from her forehead touches Rama's right shoulder. Okay, Ramaவுடைய ரைட் ஷோல்டர்ல வந்து சீதா போட்டிருந்த பொட்டு வந்து பட்டுருச்சு. அதை வந்து சொல்றாங்க, சீதா சொல்றாங்க, whenever a husband goes to war, the wife will put a tilakam on their forehead saying, come back with a victory. Tell Rama, you go and tell Rama that when he is coming to war with Ravana, I have already given him the tilakam for victory with that garland incident. I'll again emphasize this because this is a very beautiful part of this conversation. Ramar ஜெயிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு வந்து நான் வீர திலகம் வச்சு அவரை வார்க்கு அனுப்பணும். ஆனா இப்ப நான் அங்க இல்லை. அந்த கார்லண்ட் பண்ண இன்சிடென்ட்லயே நான் வந்து அவருக்கு போட்டு வச்சுட்டேன் அப்படின்னு நீ அவருக்கு சொல்லு. I've already given him the tilagam to win the war from that garland incident. அப்படின்னு நீ சொல்லு. This incident no one except you, except Rama and me know. Please take this as your third evidence to Rama அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. Now as much pumped I am, as much pumped I'm, hopefully you all are. Hanuman is also very pumped and he recites a sloka called as Jaya Panchakam. It's a 5-verse sloka which he recites and gets victory in every step of the way from there all the way back to India. So it's called Jaya Panchakam, a winning sloka, winning mantra. I will be recording that Jaya Panchakam and putting it on my Simply Bhajan's YouTube channel. So please take a look at that. We will learn that bhajan next week, that sloka next week. With this, I will complete the Sundarakandam recital for today, and we will start with the shlokas, with the songs. Okay, I came across this song on YouTube. I literally could not take it out of my head. This is actually a Mangalam song. Mangalam song is the song that you sing at the end of a puja. It's called Ambigaika Mangalam. I'm going to introduce to you a Tamil song. Tamil வந்து உச்சரிப்பு pronunciation is very, very important. Okay, so you cannot say talvilada zh. Zh is il. Roll your tongue all the way to the back of the upper palate of your mouth and say il, tal. So zh is il, capital L. So the zh you see is il, capital L is not la, it's la. In Tamil we have three las: la, la, la. Okay, so on the pronunciation you will have to figure out. This song is probably suited for kids 8 and above. Okay, smaller kids I won't even if they are picking it up, wonderful, but they may take some time. So parents, give them time if they're not comfortable. But 8 and above, the more you listen, very easy song. Okay, repeat after me. தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும், தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும். I'll break it down. தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும், தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும். தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும், தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும். வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும், என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும் என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும். தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும், தளர்ச்சி அற்ற வன்மையும். வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும், என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும் என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும். பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து, பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும். பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து, பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும். பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக, பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும் பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும். தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சியற்ற வன்மையும், தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சியற்ற வன்மையும். வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும் வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும். பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும். பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும் பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும். தாழ்விலாத தன்மையும் தளர்ச்சியற்ற வன்மையும், வாழ்வினால் பயன்களும் என் வாக்கிலே வளங்களும். பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும் பக்தியில் கசிந்தலைந்து பாடுகின்ற பான்மையும். பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும் பாடுவோர்க்கநேக போக பாக்கியங்கள் மேன்மையும். ஓகே, இன்னும் 3 ஸ்டான்ஸா இருக்கு. We'll begin the next class with this song. Okay, now before I let you go, quiz time. I'm going to unmute you and ask you questions. Okay, before quiz, this is something that I've always introduced in previous classes. Just one more iteration of that, the act of giving. Okay, Avvayar, you all know from Thiruvalayadal. You saw that old lady who comes and talks sense to Muruga. Her name is Avvayar, Tamil poet. She has said once, Irakka Churakkum Manalkeni, Iya Surakkum Perum Selvam. It translates into a well that is used regularly gets more water. When you give to the needy or you help the needy, you are blessed with more. Irakka Churakkum Manalkeni. You have a well in the house. If the well is never used, it has the same water as it has all the time. Not more water, not less water, but same water. That water gets it stagnates over a course of time. It becomes useless. Dirty, useless. Lot of germs, bacteria. But if that water is used regularly, if the water is used to water plants, to feed the cows, to give water to people who need water, you get more water, clean water, useful for you, useful for the world. Iyat churakkum perum selvam. What you have. Now Ravana had so much wealth, he never made use of it. He only built gold palaces out of it. No use, useless. After he is gone, the palace is also going to rot. But if he had given that wealth to people who needed to live their life, his wealth would have made sense. He would have been blessed with more useful wealth. Iyat churakkum perum selvam. So you have to give. You have to give what you can. Don't give away everything you have, then you will suffer. Give what you can in your own small, modest means. That will bring you good fortune, will bring you more of the same kind. Okay. And we've also talked about two donations which are extremely high in the hierarchy of donations. You can give food, you can give wealth, you can give houses, cars, items people need, but the most sacred form of donation is Annadanam, food donation, because it's the only form of donation where the people who are receiving it from you will say, thank you, I've had enough. I cannot take any more. Thank you so much. Where the donation, people will not say podum. If you give them money, they won't say podum. If you give them houses or cars or animals, cows, horses, they will never say podum. They'll take as much as you give. But food matto, you will get a confirmation that you've given as much as they can take, because their stomach can only take so much. So Annadanam is very, 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 very essential, very, very important for our life, everyday life. Second form of education, second donation that's very, very sacred is education. That's the only form of giving where after you give, it grows immediately for you and for the person who received it. Because when you teach something, you get much better at it. You get knowledge while teaching. And the knowledge that you give to someone will spread very quickly. So multiplies. So donation that multiplies quickly is giving education. A donation where you know that you've given as much as the taker can take is food. These two donations, I strongly believe you kids can start doing even before you're adults. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples for that. First thing, kolam. Nama India we've seen our apatas, ayas put kolam right outside the house. Do you know what the powder is? Rice powder. Ground rice powder, they'll put kolam outside the house. Not just for decoration. That's food that all the ants and insects living around your house can eat every day morning. So your party, your apata, aya, maybe even your ammas put kolam not just for decoration. It's also decoration, but it's Annadanam every day morning. Veetu vaasala pandrappa vandu, that is thought of as protection for you and your family. Okay, this is something that you can do even now. Summer vandirche, so go and grind some rice and put some designs in front of your house. You will feed all the ants. Second, bird feeder. Idu vandu Annadanam to all the birds who live around your house every day. Very easy. Buy a bird feeder, buy some bird food, and keep putting it every time it's empty. You're doing Annadanam. Third thing is, teach your siblings what you know. Teach your friends what you know. That's giving educational knowledge.